Welcome to our tutorial video. In this video, we will show you how to follow the money using Iknaio Pathfinder. After this tutorial, you will know how to trace money flows between crypto asset addresses until you find a specific actor, like a crypto asset exchange where the money is converted back to fiat money. You will also learn how to use the built-in path search function to find paths automatically. To begin, we enter a crypto address into the search bar and confirm by pressing the Enter key. You will now see the address property box in the upper left-hand corner of the window and a rectangular shaped node representing that address placed in the center of the dashboard. You also see that this address has been tagged, and if we inspect that tag, we see that this address was involved in a sextortion spam campaign to collect funds from victims. It is therefore likely controlled by a perpetrator. We see that this address is part of a large address cluster containing a total of 19 addresses. On the left-hand side, we see 205 money inflows from other clusters. On the right-hand side, we see 15 money outflows to other address clusters. We can now follow these money outflows by clicking on the outflow number and see a typical money laundering pattern. The money collected from the victims was forwarded to many other address clusters to hide the origins of the proceeds of crime. The paths linking the different nodes show the transferred amounts in the selected currency. By clicking on the setting icon in the upper right toolbar, you can change the value denomination from crypto to fiat currencies such as the US dollar or euro. You can also use the settings toolbox to change the information displayed on the paths from transferred amounts to the number of transactions. The thickness of the edges is scaled proportionally to the displayed amounts. You can now continue following the money until you find a cluster containing an address with additional attribution information. Addresses and clusters without additional information are colored in gray. If an address cluster contains an address with additional information, you will see a little tag symbol in the upper right-hand corner of the cluster shape. If we believe that the tag applies to all addresses contained in the cluster shape is colored. As following the money manually is a tedious and error-prone task, Iknaio Pathfinder also offers a simple path search function. When you right-click on an address cluster, you will see a context menu with the option Search Neighbors. Here, you can choose the search direction, which can be either incoming or outgoing. Next, you can also choose the type of actor you want to search for. A typical task is searching a path from a perpetrator address to an exchange, where the money is converted back from crypto to fiat currency. Lastly, you can choose the parameters for your search. By changing the depth, breadth, and number of addresses, you can control the scope of your search. If you are uncertain which parameters to choose, start with the default settings and increase them step by step if you don't receive any results. Finally, by clicking on Search, you can start the automated path search. When looking at the results, we see that the money collected from the victims arrived at a known exchange via 2 hops. Finally, after following the money from the perpetrator's address to an exchange, we also want to know which exchanges the victims opened their accounts on to make their payments. For that, we simply click on the 205 money inflows and inspect the list of incoming money flows. We can sort by tag to filter for known services. By selecting them, we can place them on the dashboard and inspect the incoming money flows in more detail. That concludes our tutorial video on following the money using Iknaio Pathfinder. For additional guidance and more video resources, kindly visit the documentation on our website.